Well, let's talk about the metals pack, right? Because yesterday that one was on fire. Ferrous and non-ferrous did very well, and you had individual stocks that were reacting to their news pieces as well. To help us out with an analysis, we have Vikash from PhillipCapital who joins us. Hi, Vikash. Good morning, and thanks a lot for joining in. Well, before we talk about what's going on with China, demand and supply issues, last night you had, tweet coming in from the Biden government where they're talking about tripling the tariffs, on steel as well as on aluminium. I was looking at the numbers, and as of now, anyways, the amount of aluminium or steel that gets imported into the United States from China is very minimal, 2 or 4%. How do you see this, and what could be the impact on the Indian listed companies?
Yeah, that's correct. So in CY23, the total steel which they imported was 550 KT, closer to only 2% of their total imports. And aluminium was closer to 200 KT, which is closer to 4% only. So effectively, if you see on a direct import basis, it doesn't impact much. But there was in the tweet, there was EV and the solar panel was also targeted. So some indirect impact may come, which is difficult to assess. So overall, we are not expecting this to have a meaningful impact on the Indian perspective at this point of time.
Got it. So that gets cleared out of the way. Now I want to talk about individual stocks and particularly Vedanta. You were in minority actually, Vikas, when you joined us, I think somewhere in September 2023. And at that point of time, people were fearing that, will the company go belly up? Will they be able to make their payments? And you were the lone voice that said, no, I'm bullish on the stock and it's set for higher levels. The stock's done well, so congratulations. But what do you do from here? Vedanta's at around 430 rupees a share. And also they're looking at raising some money. So first the view on the stock, and why do you think they want to raise money?
Yeah, thank you, Nigel. So we are still telling clients to hold on to the stock. Not the great time to sell. There are some further gains which we can get. Base metals are in rally and Vedanta is a pure play. So some more gains are yet to be derived from the stock. So we are telling people to hold on to the stock. Regarding the fundraising, they have a good plans across all business segments. So they said in the press release that they might basically. So my guess would be probably without stretching debt. If they do, then it would be with the view that without stretching debt, the capex across segment. And mind you that 2-3 days back, they bought the remaining stake in the display making unit as well. So probably they would go ahead with the semiconductor or the display making unit in India. So probably the cash for that.
Okay. Vikash, hi, good morning. I take your point on Vedanta there. What is your view on some of these PSU metal stocks? I know we've discussed this in the past, but names like Nalco, Hindustan Copper, NMDC, Coal India, from here on for the next 12 to 18 months, what are your thoughts?
So in PSU, basically, we are still bullish on Coal India, though we don't have the rating on that. NMDC is still, we think that structurally they are going into a very good scenario. FY26 onwards, we would have almost 40 million tons of steel operating additional new capacity, for which you would require a lot of iron ore. So iron ore, basically on the domestic front, we are gradually moving into a structural good scenario. Hindustan Copper, we will refrain from giving any comment because we don't have any coverage on that. And Nalco, like I said, that the alumina is on a boil. And aluminium next year, we are thinking that probably would be in a deficit. So for some more gains, people can continue to hold.
Vikash, hi, morning. Prashant here. This morning, there is a newspaper story which essentially is talking about the risk of the threat of Vietnamese steel. I don't know if you saw that story, but essentially they're saying that, this company, this Vietnamese company has been given a license once again, and sort of comments from sort of not quoted specific names here, but players kind of saying this could be a risk with a lot of steel coming in from Vietnam. Your thoughts, if that is a risk at all, how do you see this?
So yes, Vietnam offered basically got the BIS certification last Friday. Basically, the way we understand that the certification is applicable till December this year to them. Already we have seen a little bit of higher inflows of metal So basically, but we have exported as well. So if you look at the net level, we imported a little over 9 million tons and exported closer to 8 million tons. So just how 1 million ton net imports have come, which at 136 million tons of steel demand in FY23 comprises not even a 1%. So in the near term, basically, yes, we are not that much worried about the imports at this point of time. We think that barring this election phase, our demand would remain strong, 7 to 8% kind of the growth. And that would basically, there's a further leg room of another 1 million ton of imported steel. From the perspective that most of the capacity which would be coming in the second half, basically. The ramp up takes time. So with a 7 to 8% demand growth, basically we would essentially require 9 to 11 million tons of steel. So additional 200, 300 KT if it is coming, which would get consumed in India.
Got that. Thanks for clearing the air on that front, Vikas. I also wanted to ask you about Vedanta. They also will be considering dividend. Are you factoring in any big dividend for the coming meeting, which is scheduled tomorrow?
So they will pass on the Hindustan Zinc dividend which they have received and probably add some more. So basically, yes, probably the dividend story which was halted last year would take again restart, because at the end of the day, Vedanta Resources has only dividend incomes as of now, and they will still need $1 billion to service it. So that would come. So yes, this year also we are expecting at least overall 30 rupees kind of the dividend.
Very quickly, Hindustan Copper, would you be still bullish on it? It's the lone copper play, or would you avoid it at these levels?
So we don't have rating, but copper prices last night have jumped up and reached in the COMEX almost $5 a pound. Basically, it's a historical high. So being the only copper concentrate producer in India, definitely Hindustan Copper is going to benefit, because even if you look at the 1 month's perspective, the copper price has rallied roughly about 11%. So obviously they would benefit, but in terms of valuation, etc., we will refrain from comment.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot, Vikas, for joining in and clearing the air on a whole host of issues on the US tariffs, on the imports coming into India, and on Vedanta as well, which has been one of the big picks that you had. For the time